course, Jared Leto's Joker.
The Joker's there as a prisoner.
It's all so completely disconnected from the rest of the movie.
Oh.
It's so clearly tacked on.
It's not like I was like, oh, completely, I want him as the Joker forever now. I suppose he has an uphill battle to get fans on his side.
Him and WB were at odds with each other, and we know this. He was fired.
It's like this is redemption for Jared Leto's Joker. Like this expands that character in really interesting ways. How is it? Have you seen the cut? And if so, how do you think this Joker is different than the Joker that we saw before in Suicide Squad?
Well,
Some people think that you can't judge how good he was here because it's only a 5-minute scene. But people judge his performance in Suicide Squad. He was in it for less than 10 minutes.
What's up, janitors? It's been a while. I haven't been around much lately because I was shot by the FBI. Miraculously, I woke up in a hospital 7 days later and then was immediately informed that I needed emergency surgery on my. This turned my balls to the size of 2 medium oranges, and I couldn't walk without carrying them for over 15 days until the swelling finally went down. And that actually did happen, so I've been somewhat off duty, you could say. I did find out something very interesting from this whole experience.
Chicks love them.
Women love huge balls.
Love them.
No, not that. I mean, that's true, but I already knew that. I learned that I am a sellout fraud, at least according to this guy. And usually when I have a comment like this brought to my attention, I don't think anything about it. But for some reason, this comment is different. This comment has actually been bothering me. I'd take it as far as to say that it's haunting my dreams. I'm not exaggerating when I say I've been losing sleep over this. And it's not keeping me up in an angry way. I'm more haunted by what his comment insinuates about my channel. And I'm worried that this means there are other people out there that might think this as well. And so I feel it is my ethical and janitorial duty to protect the integrity of my channel, and more specifically, the Jared Leto Joker saga, and explain to this certain individual why he's never been more wrong about anything in his fucking life. So without dragging this intro on any longer, let's address the controversy as I defend to my last dying breath the Jared Leto Joker. Dear Janitor, how is hating the Jared Leto Joker and then switching sides after the movie is good a hot take? You're all a bunch of bandwagoners. Thank you for the comment, my little furry friend, and I appreciate your input, but allow me to explain to you the wonderful world of subtext. You see, subtext is when you say something without really saying it. Google defines it as an underlying and often distinct theme in a piece of writing or conversation or a Jared Leto Joker saga. So now that we got that out of the way, let's take it back to the cringe of Jared Leto Part 1 of the Jared Leto Joker saga. There's one thing I say that is an extremely important piece to this whole mess.
And the trailer for this movie was phenomenal. I could not wait to see this scene.
I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
So despite every negative thing I said in this video, I give you one paramount clue that I wanted to like it. Now, as we visit part 2, you'll see I say something that is the key to everything.
Bring back the balance, Jared.
This was an effort by me to telepathically communicate with Jared Leto, to bring back the balance in the DC universe, restore the Snyderverse, and resurrect the Jared Leto Joker. In part 3, I skip all subtle nuances, and by this point, I'm literally full on advocating for the resurrection of Jared Leto Joker.
How are you going to mention the Jared Leto Joker 37 times in one movie and not show the Joker? Seriously, it does not take a rocket scientist to tell you that there is a serious lack of Joker in this film.
In August of 2020, I said,
and right now our nation needs Jared Leto's Joker more than ever before.
So, at this point, it's no longer subtext. I'm just flat out telling people I want to see more Joker. Some people thought I was kidding, and even I didn't know if I was being serious or not, but apparently I was being serious according to me now because it fits the narrative. So, this guy is saying we're bandwagoners, but you janitors gave this video a 95% upvote rating in the summer of 2020 before Jared Leto Joker was even announced again. So, I'm starting to sense a pattern here, but I'd like to keep building my case. Part 4 of the Jared Leto Joker saga. I said all it would take would be one decent scene with some good dialogue to turn this whole Jared Leto Joker hate on its head. I laid out a list of demands, and then the Jared Leto fan club made those demands known to the FBI. We started 7 riots in 7 different cities. 43 people were killed, which was barely a blip on the radar that year. But all that violence sparked real change, and 4 out of 5 of our demands were met with the release of the Snyder Cut. So by now, hopefully everyone following along understands that despite all the negative press that came out from my channel about Jared Leto Joker, I still had respect for him and wanted to see him succeed. But how do you define success? What makes a comeback successful? Well, you start by greatly lowering the bar. On June of 2020, I delivered a very crucial piece of information that will blow this whole case wide open.
But you're missing the point. The point is that he doesn't have to convince all of America he's a good Joker. He only has to convince half. I've gone on record saying this before, and I stand by this statement, but at least half of America is completely brain dead. We are literal meat bag consumption machines, and we'll eat whatever corporate shit you shove in our face. The Jared Leto Joker is our Thanksgiving turkey.
So, I make it clear that for a victory to occur, he does not need to become one of the best Jokers of all time. He just needs to be kind of okay. And that's all I wanted. I just wanted at least half of America to say, yeah, he was all right. And if you look at the comments on this video, I would say that's a mission accomplished. So, Mr. Internet Commenter, I've stated my case. Saying Jared Leto Joker was good wasn't a hot take. It was a message that was interwoven into my deranged mind from Jared Leto's personal satellite in MK Ultra, maybe. It is a belief that 43 members of my Patreon died for. Please join my Patreon, by the way. It's a simple statement that could be summed up in 5 words, but instead I spent 4,000 hours crafting video essays around it. So you can't call us janitors bandwagoners. I think the term you're looking for is ahead of the curve. The defense rests. For all the comments out there that try to bring down the Janitor Squad, there's always an equal and opposite reaction that lifts the Janitor Squad up. There's one comment that was left on my last Jared Leto Joker video that cut right to the heart of the Jared Leto Joker saga. You could call it the message within the message. This brilliant janitor said this: "Dear Janitor, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for opening my eyes so I could see that the Jared Leto Joker was actually good. All jokes aside, you really made me change my mind, even before the Snyder Cut. You made me believe that everyone deserves a second chance. And that's the real message that I wanted to get across in the Jared Leto Joker saga." After I made that first video, I guess some small part of me kind of felt bad. Like I made this huge video just trashing this other human being and shitting on him because he didn't meet my expectations. So the only way I could fix the hate in my soul was to start rooting for him. I thought, how ironic would it be if me of all people were one of the ones advocating for his return and then it actually worked out. It was too good of an opportunity to pass up. So if you still hate the Jared Leto Joker, that's alright. You know, I get it. But if you're one of the janitors that followed me on this journey and eventually found yourself rooting for Jared's comeback, then that tells me you're a person that's capable of growth too, just like Jared Leto's Joker. So whatever you feel is holding you back from success, whatever damaged you, if Jared Leto Joker can make a comeback, then we all can. Unless you're EDP 445 Kevin Spacey or Jared from Subway. And that's the real message of the Jared Leto Joker saga. With the Snyder Cut released, we have restored balance to our planet. And fate has yielded its reward, a new Jared Leto Joker that isn't as cringe. The Jared Leto Joker fan club will no longer hide in the shadows. We live among this planet's people now, hiding in plain sight, but watching over them in secret, waiting, protecting. I have witnessed their capacity for courage, and though we are worlds apart, the damages from their past can be erased. I am the internet's janitor, and I send this message to any surviving janitors out there, taking refuge, cleaning up the stars. We are here. We are waiting.